Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of the Basketball Huddle. I'm Review Sports Editor Mike Brown, joined by the guru of games, as always, Bob Steer. Bob, another big week for high school basketball, both on the girls and boys side last week. Let's talk about the girls first. Let's talk about the West Branch girls. Last Saturday, the Carrollton Warriors go to Beloit, and West Branch lays a 27-point defeat on Carrollton. That was unbelievable. I mean, that's really two great teams, two of the best teams in the state.
It really was a very impressive performance by West Branch.
Yeah.
It was funny, going into the game, I talked to some West Branch folks real close to the program, and honestly, I don't think they were surprised by the outcome. They felt that the way their girls are playing right now, and from what they had seen of Carrollton, they felt really confident going into that game, and it ended up playing out that way. West Branch is just playing really well right now.
They really are. I took that game in, and it was a slow first quarter for the Beloit Warriors, the green and white Warriors, because we're talking about two Warriors here. But after that, they really got it rolling. Kaylee Manning had a great game, a breakout game for her. And I think West Branch is hitting on all eight right now. I think at just the right time, because the tournament draw is only about a week away, and I would think they're positioned very well for a nice postseason run.
Definitely, I expect them to challenge for a spot in Columbus.
Right.
And I think that's their expectations and their goals, and it's within reach.
Yeah, I do too. And you look at the poll. There's no other team in northeastern Ohio in the D2 poll except the West Branch Warriors. So I realize Chagrin Falls is out there, and at last check, they were undefeated. But they're not ranked in that top 10. That could be a team they could see down the road. Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary. Hathaway Brown beat the McKinley girls about a week ago. So those teams are all out there, but they're all in those teams are in the same district. So one of those teams probably will come out of there. And that might be the team West Branch would eventually face. But again, that's putting the cart ahead of the horse a little bit. But when you look about the potential of that, it's there. It's definitely there. Yeah. Well, let's talk about some of the other games. The Sebring girls had a tough loss Monday night. They went to Columbiana, but lost to a really good Columbiana team. This Ron Michella, who used to be the head coach of the Boardman girls, who got them to state quite a few times, is now the head coach at Columbiana. And you've seen the Sebring girls this year. They've got a couple nice players. It just seems like it just hasn't come together as a team for them like they'd like in some games.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have some talent on that team. There's no question about it. We knew that coming into the season.
Yeah.
And it does just seem like they, at times, are a little disjointed, just not quite playing together like you'd like to see.
Sure.
But, there's still time left in the season.
Oh, yeah.
They've got time to get to gel a little more.
Yeah.
Because, as we mentioned, they do have some talent.
Oh, they do.
No question about it.
Sydney Smith and Murphy Flowers, those are two of the best players in the area. Yeah. So, hopefully, everything will gel for them and they could have a nice tournament run. Because I think the potential's there for that team. I really do.
I agree.
Yeah. And then we're talking about the Alliance Marlington game. This is a little bit of a look back to last week. They switched their game from last Saturday to the previous Thursday. And the Marlington girls won that game rather convincingly over the Alliance girls. And the Marlington girls are another team where there's a lot of potential there too, I think.
Yes, they do have a lot of potential. They have a talented roster, and they have a nice mix of some veteran leadership, some quality seniors, Allie Rogers, but they also have some nice young talent coming up. Even a couple freshmen with the Peck girl. And, so they have a nice blend. Coach Rao has that. I think the future looks bright, but I also think they still have some things this year that they can accomplish that are out there for them.
And then obviously we talked about the Alliance girls. Cynthia Talbert's done a great job with them. They've been competitive in just about every game this year and have done a good job, and hopefully that will continue for the Lady Aviators.
They really have. She's done a terrific job, and it's, as we've discussed over and over, it's a process.
It sure is.
And every time I cover them and get to talk to her, you can sense that, the frustration is there that, any coach, you want to see the results quicker. Yeah. And it's just a process and it takes time, but she's doing a great job. And, I think if they can stay the course there, I think you're going to see that program just continue to get better and better this year and into future years. Right.
Well, let's turn our focus here at boys basketball. And obviously we're coming off the Battle of the Carnation City from Tuesday night. The Marlington boys hosted the Alliance Aviators in a high-scoring game, and Marlington won that out at the Duke Dome. And we talked about Nick Evanich's team all year. You've seen them, Bob. I mean, they can go about 8 or 9 or 10 players deep, and there's no drop-off there. And they can wear a lot of teams down. And that was a back-and-forth game, a close game till late. And those are a couple teams that have a lot of potential as well.
Definitely. Marlington, as we've also discussed, I mean, the key to their offense is when they're making shots.
Right.
I mean, they're up and down the court,
Yeah.
but they went through a little slump there where the ball
Yeah.
just wasn't going in the hoop.
Right.
And it seems like they're getting back on track. I think they had a better shooting performance the
Right.
other night, and that's the key to their season, really. They're very deep. They're going to wear teams down, but you still have to make shots. Still have to put the ball in the hoops. So.
Yeah.
But that was a nice performance by Marlington.
Absolutely. And then, you saw the Sebring boys basketball game, covered that game on Tuesday night. Tell me a little bit about that game, Bob.
Well, they just dug a hole early.
Yeah.
They found themselves in a 13-point hole, and they scratched and clawed their way back, got it within 1 point on several different possessions in the fourth quarter, and just never was able to make that shot to get over the hump.
Yeah.
A little bit of problems at the foul line too. I think they were under 50% at the foul line. So it's just some of the little things that hurt Sebring, and I mean they lost Rouse, their leading scorer, to an ACL,
huge. Yeah.
and then Weingart goes down in that game. I think it was early in the third quarter.
Right.
So they've got some issues
Right.
that are out of your control.
Right,
You can't
sure.
control injuries. And Coach Scott's has a challenge, ahead of him, trying to find different pieces and parts to fill in and continue on the path. So.
Right. And then the West Branch Warriors, their record's 8-6. They got a win Tuesday night. Came back from a big deficit against the Carrollton Warriors, and looks like Kyle Ziegler had a big game in that game.
Yeah, that was my boy was at that game, and he called me and told me this was told me how crazy of a game it was. Absolutely unbelievable comeback by West Branch. I think they held Carrollton to just 4 points in the fourth quarter, all on free throws, and made a huge run.
Yeah.
So that was big. It was big for West Branch. They needed to get back on the winning track, and to beat a quality league opponent. I mean, Carrollton is a quality team, and to get a win like that was big for them.
Right, and Carrollton had a couple players out early when West Branch played them. Those guys played in that game last night. West Branch still got the win, so that that's overly impressive, I think. Yeah. Well, let's turn the clock ahead a little bit to this weekend. We've got some great boys matchups on Friday night. Obviously, we've got West Branch at Alliance. Marlington goes to Minerva. That'll be another good game. Wellsville is at Sebring. Salem's at Carrollton, and St. Thomas Aquinas is at Garfield Heights Trinity. I think the big game that stands out Friday night would be the local rivalry, West Branch at Alliance. West Branch lost to Alliance convincingly early in the season. The game's at Alliance, I'm sure there's a comfort zone there for the Aviators, but again, it's a local rivalry. You never know.
You never know. Absolutely. When two teams, backyard rivals, get together on the court. And you're right, Alliance definitely... you would say cruised to a win last time, so I could see a little revenge on the minds of the Warriors. Yeah. And I think it would be a little extra special to go into Alliance and come away with a win. So I'm expecting that to be a really good ball game. Right.
West Branch is kind of an athletic team. Obviously, Alliance is an athletic team. So that's there's not a contrast there. It's the same kind of style, and we'll see. I guess who can win with that kind of style. I mean, Alliance has had a lot of success against West Branch the last several years. So that's going to be a big challenge for the West Branch Warriors come Friday night. Yeah. Well, I think that'll do it for this week's edition of the Basketball Huddle, and we hope to see you on the court Friday night.